Hey everyone, today we're going to look at 3 more underrated tools for game developer. Without further ado, let's get into the video. In the first place, we have Material Maker. Recently, this has been my personal favorite. It's basically like Substance Designer, but free and open source, so you don't have to deal with the big price tag. It's also made with Godot, which is pretty surprising, but if you've used Godot before, you'll notice some similarities in the UI. Just like Substance Designer, it is also node-based, so you can create some really advanced procedural textures. It can export directly to PBR maps, like base color, roughness, normal, metallic, height, and you can use those in pretty much any engine, whether that's Unreal, Unity, or Godot itself. While there aren't a lot of tutorials dedicated to Material Maker, once you understand the basics, you can follow along with most Substance Designer tutorials and recreate the results inside Material Maker. The only limitation I've noticed is tessellation. It's not as advanced as what you'd get in Substance Designer. That being said, most materials don't need extreme tessellation, so it's not a deal breaker. Material Maker also has built-in store, which include a lot of materials with source file, and all of them are free. It also includes custom nodes, such as RGB curve and HSV curves. It also supports seamless texture generation, which makes it really useful for tiling materials. And since it's open source, you can actually dig into the code, or even create custom nodes if you want to push it. We have also made Ghibli-styled textured pack with Material Maker, which also includes source files. If you like what you see, you can find the link in description. If you're trying to learn Unreal, you've probably noticed that most tutorial channels don't really teach you the why behind things. They usually just show how to get a specific feature working without going into good practices or sharing the smaller tips that make development easier. That's where Unreal Directive stands out. It's packed with articles that cover exactly those hidden details. This site is really underrated. I've barely seen anyone talk about it, but it's full of gems. You'll find things like keyboard shortcuts, workflow tricks, explanations of Unreal's coding practices, and even insights into how to structure your projects better. A lot of the stuff I've read there, I've literally never heard mentioned anywhere else. Another bonus is that it covers both Blueprint and C++. Most resources lean heavily towards one or the other, but Unreal Directive mixes the two and explains how to bridge the gap between them. It also has plenty of optimization tips, which is something that's super important but not talked about enough in most tutorials. The amount of content is pretty crazy, and it's useful no matter your skill level. If you're just starting out, it can give you a strong foundation and save you from picking up bad habits. And if you're more experienced, you'll still find small optimizations and tips that can speed up your workflow. Finally, we have Cascadeur, a 3D animation software that made a lot of noise when it first launched, but has slowly slipped an underrated category. The hype might have died down, but the software itself has only gotten better. Cascadeur is built around AI-assisted animation tools, and that's what makes it stand out. Features like auto-posing and auto-physics let you create natural-looking movement without spending hours tweaking every single keyframe. You can pose just a few bones and the software figures out the rest, or add physics to bring weight and momentum into your animations in a way that feels believable, but doesn't require a full physics setup. The workflow itself is focused on speed. Blocking out character poses in Cascadeur feels much faster than in traditional packages like Blender or Maya. It also has trajectory tools that let you visualize and adjust motion arcs, making it easier to polish movements and catch problems early. Once you're done, you can export to formats like FBX or GLTF, which makes it compatible with Unreal, Unity, or even Blender if you want to refine things further. Most of these features are free to use, though some advanced options, hand animation, sit behind a paywall. Still, the free version is surprisingly capable for indie developers or smaller teams. Of course, it's not perfect. The graph editor is probably the weakest part of this software. While it exists, it's nowhere near as smooth or intuitive as the ones in Blender or Unreal, and working with animation curves can feel clunky. If you're used to fine-tuning curves as your main workflow, that's going to take some adjustment. Cascadeur also isn't trying to replace full-featured suites like Maya. You won't find animation layers, facial rigs, or complex blend shape systems here. But that's not really the point of the software. For me, the trade-off is worth it. The slightly rough graph editor is overshadowed by how easy it makes posing and adding realistic physics. Overall, it's a tool that deserves more recognition, especially if you're looking for a faster way to create high-quality character animations without diving into overly complex pipelines. That's all I have for today. I hope you found something new and helpful. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And while you're down there, check out our store, which has some really cheap and helpful stuff.